Danny, who's on your list?
All right, I'm going to go to the assistant coaching ranks following Bud's footsteps. We've got one team that has a train wreck unfolding right now and a head coach who has been as stubborn as it gets because he wants to call the plays. Jimbo Fisher, they're not going to fire him, but I do think there's going to be an intense amount of pressure for him to go out and find the best offensive coordinator in the land. I think there's going to be some pressure for some boosters and people that are power players there as well. You don't have to look very far. You don't even have to go out of the state. I think you call up TCU's Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator at TCU, has done a fantastic job. I know Sonny Dykes is an offensive mind as well, but Garrett Riley, even if you go back a couple years, has had a ton of success. Plus, he's got the Riley last name, which I think helps. I think you can pay him any amount of money if there was other potential G5 head coaching jobs that are opportunities for him. I think it makes a lot of sense. You could sell it to the boosters. I could hear all the hype for the offseason for Texas A&M's back. I can't promise you it'll work, but I think it makes a lot of sense.
I also have Garrett Riley on my list. I do not think he's going to take the OC job at Texas A&M.
As a Garrett Riley decision.
Yeah, I do not think that is what Garrett Riley wants. I think that it might make sense for Texas A&M, but I don't think, again, I don't care how much pressure you put on Jimbo. Jimbo will be like, okay, pay me, I'll go away.
Can I suggest one more guy that was on my list that I thought would make some sense for the Texas A&M job if for some reason Jimbo Fisher actually does decide to hire a different offensive coordinator? And again, I don't know if anybody wants to go work for him. I guess for the money, it would make sense, but you'd have to be convinced that you would actually get to call the plays, most likely. Or if you give a guy like $2.5 million, I mean, maybe he's like, I don't care. Like you call the plays, give me the title, give me the check. I'll retire after this.
That to me is the most interesting dynamic that's going to unfold. Is they're going to get an offensive coordinator, I believe. What is the dynamic between him and Jimbo? Is it hands off, or is it hands on, or is it collaboration? And that could be problematic.
I know some guys who have worked for Jimbo as his OC. And I think if you want to get a name like you want to go out and get, you can't treat the guy you want to go out and get like you did those dudes as far as delegation and responsibilities. But again, a name I might throw out there, and this would largely depend on how Mike Elko felt it was working for Jimbo Fisher. Like, would he give this guy a good recommendation of, yeah, go take the job in Texas A&M? Is Kevin Johns, right? He was the OC at Memphis for a couple of years, did a really nice job under Mike Norvell. He does emphasize running the football. It's not like a super air raidy thing, which I think Jimbo would never go for, right? Like you're not going to get Jimbo to hire an OC that he sees as gimmicky. I think he has to see it like as pro style, but modernized, and just like something he convinced himself is like, yeah, this is true football. This is the right way to play the game of offense. Kevin Johns has done a hell of a job this year at Duke. He did a very nice job at Memphis. Previously, he had some Texas Tech experience. He was at Indiana when they were actually doing okay. That's a name that if Elko liked working for Jimbo, and I don't know Mike, so I don't know what his relationship was, I could see him getting plucked by A&M because I think it's somebody Jimbo could convince himself might work.